Good evening, everyone. How are you? Good evening. It's Megan from Hillcrest. Just gonna read a couple books for story time. Hope you've had a wonderful weekend, and we'll cap it off with just a couple great books to read. So we're gonna read Goodnight Moon, and then we're gonna read uh, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And this other book. So if you have the books at home, go ahead and grab them, and we'll read them together. Let's go ahead and start with Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Once there was a beautiful little girl called Goldilocks, with golden hair that gleamed in the sunshine. But although she looked like an angel, Goldilocks did not behave like one. She was often naughty and didn't do what she was told. One day, Goldilocks went out to play in the meadow. Stay close to home, her mother reminded her. Don't go in the forest or you will get lost. At first, Goldilocks did as she was told, but then she started to get bored. Why shouldn't I go in the forest if I want to? She muttered to herself. I won't get lost if I stay on the path. When her mother wasn't looking, Goldilocks slipped across the meadow and into the forest. She had so much fun kicking leaves and climbing trees, she forgot all about staying on the path. It wasn't until her tummy began to rumble that she saw she was lost. Drat, she said, I'm hungry. Suddenly, Goldilocks sniffed a whiff of something yummy floating on the breeze. You see Goldilocks playing in the forest? You can see the little breeze of something good in the air. Let's see what she does about it. She said, following her nose. That smells delicious. The smell led Goldilocks to the door of a small house in the trees. She knocked loudly on the door. Rat-a-tat-tat! There was no reply. I can't see anyone, said Goldilocks, peeping through the window. They must be out. Then she opened the door and marched right in. On the kitchen table, there were 3 bowls of sticky, syrupy oatmeal. A great big one, a middle-sized one, and a teeny-weeny one. In an instant, Goldilocks dipped a spoon into the biggest bowl and slurped the oatmeal hungrily. Ouch, she sputtered. That was too hot. Next, she tried the middle-sized bowl of oatmeal. Yuck, it was far too cold. So Goldilocks dipped her spoon into the teeny-weeny bowl and tasted it. Yum! It was just right. She gobbled it all up quickly. You see Goldilocks knocking at the door? And look at all that oatmeal. Would you want a big bowl of oatmeal? Sounds pretty good to me. When she finished licking the syrupy spoon, Goldilocks looked around the room. There were 3 comfortable chairs by the fire. A great big one, a middle-sized one, and a teeny-weeny one. Just the place for a nap, yawned Goldilocks. She flopped down onto the biggest chair. Ouch, she complained. That's too hard. The middle-sized chair was even worse. It was far too soft and squishy. So Goldilocks tried the teeny-weeny chair. It was very small, but she finally managed to squeeze herself onto the seat. Suddenly, there was a loud snap and then crash. Goldilocks fell on the floor in a heap of broken chair legs. Oh dear, she cried, jumping up. Maybe no one will notice. Do you see Goldilocks trying all the chairs? That one's too hard. That one's too soft. And that one she broke. Oh my goodness. Then Goldilocks saw a staircase in the corner of the room. At the top, she found a room with 3 beds in it. A great big one, a middle-sized one, and a teeny-weeny one. I'll just have a lie down, Goldilocks decided. So she bounced onto the biggest bed. Oof! It was far too lumpy. Then she bounced onto the middle-sized bed. Flump! Too squashy, she giggled, rolling off. You see the beds? Goldilocks sat on the teeny-weeny bed and tried a little bounce. It was just right, so she lay down. Soon she was fast asleep. She didn't know the owners of the house were on their way home. The owners of the house were a family of hungry bears. A big daddy bear, a middle-sized mommy bear, and a teeny-weeny baby bear. As soon as they got home, the bear family went straight to the table to eat their breakfast. "Who's been eating my oatmeal?" growled Daddy Bear, peering in his bowl. "And who's been eating my oatmeal?" growled Mommy Bear. "At least you have some left," cried Baby Bear. "Look, mine's all gone. Even the spoon is licked clean." You see them? There's Daddy Bear, Mommy Bear, and Baby Bear. Daddy Bear looked around the room. "Who's been sitting in my chair?" he growled, examining the cushion. "Who's been sitting in my chair?" growled Mommy Bear. "At least you've still got a chair," cried Baby Bear. "Look, mine's all broken." Poor Baby Bear. The three bears went upstairs. "Who's been lying on my bed?" growled Daddy Bear, examining the pillow. "And who's been lying on my bed?" growled Mommy Bear. "At least there's no one in your bed," cried Baby Bear. "Look who's in mine." At that very moment, Goldilocks woke up with a start and saw the three bears. Would you want to wake up from a nap to a bear? Be kind of scary. At first, she thought she was dreaming. When the biggest bear growled, "Who are you?" she knew it wasn't a dream. Goldilocks leapt out of bed, ran down the stairs, and out of the door. She did not stop running until she had reached her own home. From that day on, Goldilocks changed her ways. Not only did she look like an angel, but she tried to behave like one too. Well, most of the time anyway. There she is, running away. The end. What did you think about that? Would you want to take a nap in a bear's house? I don't think I would. Let's read Goodnight Moon. Have you read this one before? I like it a lot. It's by Margaret Weiss Brown and pictures by Clement Hurd. In the great green room, there was a telephone and a red balloon and a picture of the cow jumping over the moon. And there were three little bears sitting on chairs. And two little kittens, and a pair of mittens, and a little toy house, and a young mouse. There's the kittens. There's the mittens. What about the little toy house? Oh, got a big one. And that's a teeny tiny mouse. Can you see it? And a comb and a brush and a bowl full of mush. And a quiet old lady who was whispering, "Hush." Good night, room. Good night, moon. Good night, cow, jumping over the moon. Good night, light and the red balloon. Good night, bears. Good night, chairs. Good night, kittens, and good night, mittens. Good night, clocks, and good night, socks. Do you see the clocks? There's a clock. There's some socks. Good night, little house, and good night, mouse. Good night, comb, and good night, brush. Good night, nobody. Good night, mush. Look, there's nobody. And good night to the old lady, whispering hush. Good night, stars. Good night, air. Good night, noises everywhere. The end. What did you think about Goodnight Moon? Have you heard it before? It was one of my favorites when I was little. Well, thank you everyone for joining me. We'll see you next time. Until then, have a wonderful night and enjoy your Sunday.